Hi, students, and welcome back from spring break. This will take us into week 9, which is officially the second half of the semester. And in my experience, the second half always seems to fly by really, really quickly. So I hope you had a great spring break, feel rested and ready to tackle this last part of the semester. So this week we are starting adolescence. And boy, if you remember your own adolescence, which I'm sure you do, you can remember, as I do, that the complexity that this stage of life brings. So we'll first look at the body and mind. Of course, the big hallmark of this stage of the lifespan is the onset of puberty. So this chapter 9 really will take a look at the physicality of what's going on with our bodies in adolescence, the rapid growth, the changes, what's happening with the brain. Remember, the frontal cortex still isn't solidified in adolescence, so it will explain some of the behaviors that we see typically happening with teenagers. And then and then really explaining what happens to males and females during puberty. And I just want to remind you, puberty is something that happens in the stage of adolescence. Puberty itself is not a stage in lifespan. It is an event that takes place in the stage of adolescence. So let's look at what you have in your module this week. So here is your PowerPoint. There is a impact of internet use and social media on adolescents. I'm going to come back to this and talk a little bit more about it here in just a minute. Your quiz 9 over chapter 9 for this week. And then this video here on the teenage brain, I think is a great video just to give you a deep dive into really that brain development, the struggles that the brain is having because we are having different experiences, but the brain still isn't yet ready to handle all of those experiences. And then we also have, because of puberty, an influx of exposure to hormones in levels that we haven't had before. And that has an effect on our brain as well. So check out that video. There's not an assignment attached to the video per se, but I just wanted you to have another resource to explain that teenage brain. I am going to click here on this impact of internet use and social media and just kind of go through it with you. This meets your student learning outcome number 3, which is where I want you to be able to show that you can identify factors of responsible personal behavior with regard to issues such as sexual activity, substance abuse, marriage, and parenting. So this will get at some of those decisions, how our personal behavior affects some of those issues related to adolescence. So we know with the increase of social media and the studies being done on social media that it can lead to an increase in cyberbullying, feeling socially isolated, looking out, saying, oh, all my friends are doing all of these activities, and I'm sitting here alone scrolling through, living life, watching other people live life. Sexual exploitation. Of course, we know that that there are people that use the internet to lure in both boys and girls, teenage boys and girls, into sex trade and what have you. It's a real issue that we have even here in San Antonio. And then another issue of identity exploration. So sometimes there's a good side of social media. We hear so much about the bad part, but there is a good part. If you have friends that you don't live near, you can keep in touch with them. You can have a close relationship with someone through social media, and it be a productive, healthy relationship. So it's not all bad, but we want to look at both sides here. So all I want you to do is track your online use. So the internet, number of texts, and that's including messaging apps like WhatsApp and Kik and so forth, Facebook Messenger, if you're on any of those. Just kind of be honest with how much time you are spending on the internet and the number of texts that you are getting through any type of text service. And then if you use any social media, so that's where you'll fill in the blank if you use, There's so many now, right? I don't even know if I know them all. Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I don't even know if I'm getting at all of them, but you get the idea. And then play video games or, that you're on your phone. So if you don't have one of these social media outlets, that's okay. But I know that you are all on the internet. You're watching this on the internet, for instance. So just kind of be honest with how much time you're spending on the web, and then through text and social media. So do what you can with that. I realize and certainly honor and appreciate that maybe not everybody has social media, so that's fine. If you just tell me you don't and tell me why you don't, and that will suffice. And then do not forget, after tracking, you have a reflection and you answer these 3 questions here. So, if you do have a profile and you have a profile picture, whether it's a picture of yourself or your dog or a flower or something else, why did you choose that profile picture? What are you trying to portray to the world about who you are? Look at other photos of yourself on social media or on your phone that you consider a profile picture. Why did you choose not to use those other photos? So just kind of a reflection there. And then the third question is, part of constructing your identity involves finding people who you would like to be like or who align with your ideal self. Do you follow a friend or any social media famous people, and what about them makes you attracted to following them and kind of, seeing some of you, at least a part of your identity through them? I can tell you, I love to cook, and I follow a lot of people on social media who are professional chefs, and I am trying to identify with them through that love of cooking and my aspirations to be as good as they are. So just one example there. So just again, just an honest reflection of how much time you're spending and then answering these 3 questions. This is not a discussion question. Nobody will see this but me. And as always, I will hold this private. It is not an assignment for me to look at and think about, oh, where are they spending their time? What are they looking at? It truly is an assignment for you to have this reflection, almost like your journals. It's more about you reflecting on an aspect of your life. And as you're doing this assignment, you may be out of the teenage years, but why I put that here is because we are going to talk about social media use. And as we get older, we're able to decipher social media and not create so much of our own identity with it, because we have parts of the brain that can do that, but teenagers do not. Those parts of the brain are not fully active and working like they do in our mid-20s and so on. So hopefully this will give you a platform that as we start discussing those topics in this chapter and in the next chapter, you can relate back to, yeah, even I kind of felt like, that the question that always gets me is the profile picture. Why am I choosing to use that picture, and what am I trying to portray to the world about that? So if I think about it at my age, think about a teenager. So should be hopefully a thoughtful exercise that you do. So all of your assignments are due on Sunday, and March 27th. So welcome back from spring break. Hope you have a great week. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out. And registration for summer and fall are right around the corner. So I will, as soon as I know that, send out a Canvas announcement just so you have those dates handy. Awesome. Take care, everybody, and have a great week.